your boy Smoke Swat, see the Milkman, Silk Man, and we always back with another video. And if you're new here, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you like seeing content, this is the place to be. Now we are on to season 2. Shout out to people that was there in season 1 who witnessed all that. Ron, Biz Bang, Scoob, Tyreek Gray. And if I forgot your name, let me know down below in the comments if I forgot your name. But this how this works. If you're new here, we break down the combine stats, the physical attributes, 20 strength and weaknesses is one of the new things that's in this season 2, and the chart we're going to take away just for this video, and for the comparison we're going to take out completely. Let me know if I should add back the comparison thing, but that's how everything works in this series. And let me know if I should add something new to this thing, and let me know who should we do next. But let's get right into this video with this first player, Trequan Smith.
Going over the middle, caught. Smith breaks the tackle with a 10, still going, touchdown, New Orleans.
Now, Trequan Smith at his scouting combine ran a 4.49 at the 40-yard dash, a vertical leap of 37 inches, a 10.10 on the broad jump, having a pretty solid combine. But as far as what he's listed as, he's listed as 6'2", 210, a 6'6" wingspan. He came out of UCF, drafted in the 3rd round, the 91st pick. Now, as far as 2020 stats, 427 yards, 34 receptions, 4 touchdowns, coming in clutch in most of his games, especially in the Lions game, catching 2 touchdowns from Drew Brees. He came big in that Buccaneers game in the playoffs with 2 touchdowns from Jameis Winston and Drew Brees. In the Raiders game, he did pretty solid, the Panthers game, and the Bears game. Now, as far as his career stats, he has a career 80 receptions, 1,109 yards, and 14 touchdowns. Now, as far as his strengths and stuff he needs to improve on, one of his strengths is, which is not on a stat sheet, is his blocking. Trequan Smith is one of the better blockers on this team. Blocking doesn't always show up in the stat sheet, but with Trequan Smith, he does it so good, as he always creates lanes for Marvin Kamara or Latavius Murray during the run blocking game. And something he's very good at is, downfield blocking. And this is something that he was very good at UCF. With that 6'6" wingspan, he's able to maneuver guys in certain ways that he could be very effective in the run game and the screen game. So, Trequan Smith is a guy who takes a lot of pride in blocking. But overall, Trequan Smith is very productive when it comes to the run game, and he's a very good blocker, and that's one of the strengths that I say that he really stands out in. And another thing that he stands out with is his yards after catch. Trequan Smith really excels with his yak game. Trequan Smith got 135 yards after catch yards. That's most since his rookie year, since 116 in 2018. And Trequan Smith is a very slippery guy, breaking 5 tackles this year. This play right here with Trequan Smith breaks the tackle, Fred Warner spins out Witherspoon, gets right to the touchdowns. One of my favorite yards after catch plays. And even this year against the Raiders, where he broke Jonathan Abrams' tackle and got near the goal line, Trequan Smith, his yards after catch is unbelievable. He refuses to go down. He always fights for those yards. Trequan Smith is really underrated when it really comes to the yards after catch. And I don't really think that's really talked about Trequan Smith. But the last thing I really like about Trequan Smith is how he uses that 37-inch vertical leap to go catch those balls out the air. And he's very good at it, along with his ball skills. When it comes to those contested catches, he always uses that 6'6" wingspan to his advantage, and he always catches those passes. You already know, Trequan Smith, since UCF, always possesses that big playability. His speed, his downfield speed, can stretch the field. Has a solid catch radius. But he has a good catch radius, but he does have a drop problem. This has been something he's been having since his rookie year. He dropped 3 passes in his rookie year, and this year he dropped 4. He needs to improve on that during this offseason. He is working. I know Trequan Smith is going to be better this season. But, he had his fair share of, good routes. He actually improved as a route runner this season. Even getting separation is one of the things he still has to work on, but he had his fair share of good routes this season. And, he's working this offseason. I think Trequan Smith is going to have one of the better seasons out of the wide receivers. And hopefully he can be consistent this year. But, Trequan Smith is going to have a big year this year, especially with Jameis Winston. But let's get on right to the next person.
Gets down the sideline, look at the concentration. I tell you what, this kid Callaway has really established himself not only in the blocking game, but as a guy that you can count on. He's earned that playing time.
Marquez Callaway didn't really have the best combine, but he did run a 4.55 on a 40-yard dash, a vertical jump of 38 inches, a 10.6 on a broad jump. Now, as far as his height and weight as listed, he's 6'2", his weight is 204, has a 6'6" wingspan, alongside with Trequan Smith, who went to Tennessee and was undrafted in 2020. By far one of the best UDFA receivers in this draft class. 2020, 213 yards, 21 receptions, and 0 touchdowns. He did miss some games, 11 returns, 122 yards, and 0 touchdowns, and punt returns, 4 returns, and 94 yards, and 0 touchdowns in the replace of Deonte Harris. Now, the one thing about Marquez Callaway that's very good is his blocking, and just like Trequan Smith, he always creates the lanes for his running backs, and he's another guy who's willing to block and get dirty down in the trenches, and to be a physical guy in the run game. He's very impactful, and Marquez Callaway was a big part of that game with Alvin Kamara having those 6 touchdowns, that record-breaking game. Marquez Callaway was a very good blocker, and in those games he really stand out as a very good blocker. And Marquez Callaway does take pride in it, and that's why I like Marquez Callaway when it comes to the run game. That's one of his strengths that I really like. Now, another strength that the critics said that wasn't a strength was his route running, and multiple guys say he had a limited route tree, but man, Marquez Callaway was really good when it comes to the route running this season. Most of his routes were digs, it was slants, he did a couple fade routes, some shallow cross. His route running was pretty solid. This one right here, when he caught his longest catch of the season off that fade route, even though the cornerback still recovered very good and still caught the ball over his head, that's tough, and the shallow cross right here, catching that good pass. Marquez Callaway is going to be very impactful with Jameis Winston, and he expanded his route tree, whether it's catching in the middle of the field or the curl route. Marquez Callaway has improved on his route running, and the fact that we didn't even get to see the things that he did in Tennessee, like stretching the field, he has bigger things coming to him, and with Jameis Winston that has that type of arm talent, Marquez Callaway is going to be a big threat. But, another underrated thing about a part of his game is his awareness and his ball skills. Remember when Drew Brees almost threw that pick and he batted that ball away? That stuck out to me. That can come really important with Callaway. And another thing that comes with Marquez Callaway is versatility. When Deonte Harris did go down, Marquez Callaway did step in a return game and then pretty solid. He got 122 yards on the punt returns with 11.1 yards per return, and with the kick returns 94 yards. Only on 4 returns, Marquez Callaway did a pretty solid job on the return game. And another thing that he did was play gunner. Marquez Callaway was a very good gunner, and he did recover a punt, and he got him a tackle too. So Marquez Callaway shows tons of versatility. Now, the stuff he still needs to improve on is his route running. He still needs to improve on his route running. It's still some things that he needs to clean up as far as route running. Even though this is not an area of improvement, but he needs to stay healthy in order to get snaps. But if he is healthy, Marquez Callaway is going to put on for this team, and Marquez Callaway is a sleeper, and hopefully he can get the snaps that he can deserve. But let's get on to the next one.
Travels to the 47, and Harris with a little wiggle, and there he goes! Deonte Harris gonna take it the distance. Watches from the sideline because they think he's going to score, like I said, every time.
Now, Deonte Harris didn't have a combine, but he was at the Assumption Pro Day. He ran a 4.35 on a 40-yard dash, a vertical leap of 33 inches, a 9.6 on the broad jump. Coming out of Assumption, was undrafted in 2019, a 5'6", 170 pounds with a 5'9" wingspan. Now, he did play less games this season, getting injured, 186 yards, 20 receptions, 1 touchdown, 16 returns, 436 yards on a kick return, 207 yards on a punt return. Now, he did join an elite group amongst Saints legends and Michael Lewis and Tyrone Hughes as Pro Bowl returners, and joined another elite group as far as Saints returners or All-Pro returners, Michael Lewis, the Bearman, and Reggie Bush, my favorite player. As far as All-Pro returners, And as far as his career stats, his career receiving yards, 26 receptions, 210 yards, and 1 touchdown that he got this year. His career return yards, 40 return, 1,080 yards, 0 touchdowns. Career punt yards, he did get 53 returns, 545 yards, and 1 touchdown, which he got in his rookie year. Now, with Deonte Harris, you can use him anywhere. He's been using on jet sweeps a lot. Most of his career, he's been using in jet sweeps. And that's something he really excels in, as he can get those yards after a catch too. Deonte Harris can be used in multiple misdirection plays. He is hard to tackle. His yards after catch is something that's really good because of his return game. He's very shifty. He's really small. Not a lot of people can tackle this man. His route running is stellar. Look at that out route he does, breaks off the tackle and then almost gets the first down. This is one of my favorite routes from Deonte Harris. That zig route is so clean, and this is the route that got him his first touchdown. He's doing a little bit of push off, but he still gets it down. Deonte Harris is a really good route runner as he does this curl route, catches the pass, he gets the first down. This Buccaneers play where he breaks off the tackle and goes off. Deonte Harris, as yards after catch, is unbelievable. He goes on the screen, pass by Jameis Winston, jukes his man and gets the first down. Deonte Harris is very shifty in the open field, and the jet sweeps, you can use him a lot. The versatility is there with Deonte Harris. He does a little curl route and doesn't get tackled. He keeps going. He fights for yards. Deonte Harris is very good when it comes to route running, and this is one of my favorite yards after the run because he goes full speed and he's going to give you those extra yards. He's going to be that spark in your offense, and that's why I really like Deonte Harris, because he can be used in multiple ways. He can stretch the field for you. He can do the screen passes, he can do the jet sweeps, and you cannot forget this route against the Vikings. One of the most cleanest routes from Deonte Harris. Deonte Harris is going to be special. And now that Emmanuel Sanders is gone, I believe he's the best route runner on this team. Now, for people wondering the size difference, Deonte Harris is 5'6", and then both of Marquez Callaway and Trequan Smith is 6'2", but Trequan Smith is the bigger receiver, is 210. But who I think should be at the Z? Who do I think I should be the wide receiver 2? It's between Marquez Callaway and Deonte Harris. Now, I'm Xing out Trequan Smith out of this because I believe he should stay in the slot. Trequan Smith is a very good slot player, and I think he should stay in the slot. He's one of the bigger slot receivers, and I think he can take advantage of most of the guys in the slot, or as he should. But the guy that I want at the Z is Deonte Harris. Now, Deonte Harris, I think Marquez Callaway, they should battle for the spot, but I think Deonte Harris has the leverage for me. As far as versatility, route running, and the ways you can use Deonte Harris in his offenses, and he can be that spark player as he already was. I think Deonte Harris should take that spot, but that's up to the coach decision. Whoever they see that can fit that spot, that's who they're gonna choose. But y'all let me know down below in the comments, who do y'all think should be that zero, that wide receiver 2? If you're new here, like and subscribe, join Dope Patrol. All you have to do is subscribe. DOP on 3, subscribe with me. Let me know what battle y'all should do next. But it's been your boy Smokes YT. Who that? He's out here.
You got ocean eyes, give us some vibes that I tell that boy apart. And them niggas still tryna snake you, they gon' try to take you up. I was down bad on my own, tryna make it out. And you was down bad on your own, chasing for some clout. Yeah, I tell that boy you better stand down, he'll never be a man. He talking like he the man now, he ain't running out no bands. Why you acting like a little boy now? I never shake your hand. Like a rock star with a guitar, he done left out his band. Like a Montaz with a rock star, he done cut off his dreads. She won't go down to my